Season 2, huh? Yeah. Some people are watching. Maybe some more people will be watching. We can do a season 2. Hey, John.
Okay.
Let's play our
Hi,
favorite
Chuck.
game. So,
Sure. Lay it on me. What do I got?
one of these people has an interesting relationship with Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, and the other person has an interesting relationship with Godzilla.
Okay. Seeing as how Robert is nodding very vigorously at the Godzilla thing, I'm going to assume that's him. And Gina, it's very nice to meet another ELP fan.
So how do you do, guys?
I would say spot on.
So I
I have
have
an
to ask
awful
the
tell, Robert.
question:
This
what's
is
the
really
ELP
bad.
connection?
Man who mentions Godzilla and just starts going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not a good way to keep a secret, you poker faced weirdo.
No,
I
he's
can't
not a
help it.
mystery writer. He's a horror writer. But we're not
Okay.
talking about that yet. Not yet. So Gina, ELP, tell us a story.
Well, the last surviving member of Emerson, Lake and Palmer put a post out, and he said, if you ever had an experience with the band, been to a concert, etc., send us a piece, and you may be published. And I did get published.
Woohoo!
Very
So
cool.
what kind of piece
Yeah.
did you give him?
I saw them perform at Westbury Theater many years ago, and I don't think I'll ever forget the concert. I mean, he played the piano upside down and backwards, and Lake's voice, there's just no voice like that. I mean, the
Yeah.
band was just incredible. I love them.
I remember, I mean, I've never seen them in concert. I've got like 10 of their albums that
Yeah.
I collected over the years. I remember that Keith Emerson was basically on stage surrounded by keyboards for
Hmm.
90% of his career. He didn't
Hmm.
actually do anything that could be removed, but that sort of thing, because it was the 70s and these things were the size of a bus.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he just laid down and played it upside down and backwards. I was like, I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
So
practice.
talented.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
See, I kind of had the reverse experience out at Westbury. I assume you're talking about Westbury Music Fair.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my reverse experience is I saw Meatloaf toward the very end of his life, where he would stop and do crowd work in the middle so he could get his breath back to finish the song. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play Meatloaf on Broadway. I think when I was heavier, I was like, I feel like I was made for it. I could sing all of Bad Out of Hell, like I could belt it out. Like if you ever get enough cocktails in me and get me at a karaoke bar, I'll give you all 9.5 minutes of Bad Out of Hell
Yeah.
without any like need to look at the screen once.
So I think we should ditch the entire rest of the plan and have the two of you duet "Paradise on the by the Dashboard Light," and we'll just make that the episode. Uh,
Speaking of which,
Funny.
Larry and I got really drunk at Chuck's birthday party last year and did
yeah,
exactly that. That's a fun song if you're singing with someone that you actually know their habits.
yes.
Well, I got to do a remake of Hot Summer Nights, Walter Egan's song.
Ooh.
I went in the studio with the amazing Demon Boy and I did the backup vocals.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So
Nice.
you've done
Yeah, that's
professional
pretty
phone
cool. It's
work.
on Spotify.
Very, very nice.
Love that.
So Godzilla. I hear some unusual amount of money changed hands between you and Godzilla, Robert.
Yes. I have a promise with my wife. Okay, because to me, there's two. I love all the Godzilla movies, like all 38 or however. I think there's like 38 of them. I
Yeah.
love all of them. I do think the American ones are the weakest, obviously, but I do like the one from 2014. I guess like that one's fun. But I promised my wife the only Godzilla stuff I would personally buy for myself is my favorite Godzilla, and that's Shin Godzilla. So I've spent about $400 recently on Shin Godzilla toys that you can only get at the Godzilla stores in Tokyo and Shinjuku and all of these places in Japan. But thankfully, there are some wonderful, wonderful toy dealers on eBay that are more than willing to part with these things for not really much over asking. So I've been able to secure what a lot of people on Reddit consider the best Shin Godzilla toy, and that was the first one I bought, and I was like, well, he's beautiful, and I just bought 2 more for myself. But then she doesn't need to know. I'm gonna say one of them was a gift from a friend, just to like.
Well, yeah, that's where I figured you were going with this. So, podcast listeners, if you're willing to, Robert will send you up to $200 for you to buy things on eBay to give him as a gift because he's found a loophole.
We can do this. We can make this happen. But yeah, it's really bad. Like, I just really love that particular version of Godzilla, and it just makes me happy. I listen to the score on the way to work. It's really, really crazy. And my wife is like, "Oh, let me guess, you're gonna watch the trailer for Shin Godzilla today?" And yes, the answer is yes. I bought one of those, like when you go to the movie theater and they have like the plastic, it's like thin above the movie theater door. I bought one of those original for Shin Godzilla, and that's in my TV room above the door. I'm obsessed. It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think listening to the Godzilla theme on your way to teach 6th and 7th graders English is a perfect way to start your business, to start your workday. If I had come up with something like that when I was still dealing with middle schoolers, I might still be there today. I don't know.
I think one of my favorite things too is like they all know who Godzilla is. Like Godzilla crosses all borders, even though a lot of my children are from Ecuador and Guatemala. When they're like, "Mr. Ottone, like what movies do you like?" and I was like, "Well, I've been watching Godzilla," and they're like, "Oh yeah, Godzilla!" Like they all know. It's so cool. Yeah. I love stuff that crosses all borders like that, and they can all connect to.
Yeah, when you were talking about that thin stripe across the top, I was at my friend Ian Randall Strock's house, and he has this thing up on the wall. It's just this long black piece of something with a yellow line on it. And I was like, "What's that?" He said, "That's a piece of the original chorus line from Chorus Line when it was first on Broadway."
Oh, wow.
So when you're mentioning that, that's what's going through my head. It's like, yeah, there are certain things like that that you just want to be able to look at and go, "I got that."
Yeah.
And I can absolutely understand and respect that.
The original model for the Space Station 5 in 2001 was ditched by the production company because no one wanted to deal with it. It was almost 5 feet across, and it was a giant cross section. And I hope that someone found this thing in a field in wherever it was, picked it up, put it in their garage, and it's living somewhere, forgotten and unloved, but alive in some storage compartment somewhere on planet Earth.
I thought you were going to say it's on the second floor of your house, John.
Oh, I wish. I don't have that kind of room.
Come on, it's a space station. Once you get inside, you got tons of room.
That's true.
No, if it's a TARDIS, I got tons of room, and Lara has the only TARDIS in the house.
Yes.
She's very private about it. You have to come in by invitation only. Somewhere I've got a picture of her wearing all her TARDIS gear: the TARDIS hat, the TARDIS shirt, the TARDIS jacket, the TARDIS jammies, the TARDIS socks. She will just TARDIS out at any opportunity.
So since we've covered movies and music, both sort of, what are you guys watching nowadays? What are you guys listening to? What's getting you guys excited? Besides Godzilla in LP.
I like all kinds of music. Metal is big, rock, dance, whatever. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of these people that we love. Ozzy was the hardest one, I think, lately to pass.
Yep.
We all got to go one day.
It's true.
We do.
Well, when Lemmy passed, we all knew it was just a matter of time before we lose that entire generation. So we never recovered from that either.
I've been listening to this band, their New York band called Tan Lines, and their newest album is called The Big Mess. And it's just 2 guys, and it's like very oddly soulful, but just like really fun kind of music. Also, it's kind of it's hard to describe, but I've been listening to them a lot. I got their I got the latest album on vinyl. We have like a pretty extensive vinyl collection, my wife and I. Nothing sounds better than a record.
Yeah.
Like, but I've been listening to that a lot recently, and we're getting a lot of 70s stuff because I saw Dog Day Afternoon on Broadway, and I've been listening to a lot of stuff from the 70s lately. A lot of Bowie. I write everything to a soundtrack. So like the thing that I'm working on now has a soundtrack to it, and like it kind of pulls from the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's a lot of that too. A lot of that like early 2000s-y, alternative-y kind of stuff. So
See, it's funny for me. I'll put music on when I'm writing, or I'll put TV shows or movies, etc. But it has to be terrible because I don't want it to draw my attention at all. So, I will put on the worst kung fu movies. I will put on the absolute B-est of B horror movies, things that require zero of my attention, have no chance of grabbing me just so the sounds are there. My alternative is now I'm writing in pizza parlors a lot. There's a pizza parlor near me. They will let me sit for 2 hours over 2 slices and write. One of the waiters is also an author. He's an erotics author, so we chat about that too. It makes it interesting. I was in the coffee shop that's like four stores over, and one of the waitresses walked by and said, "You're cheating on me?" Because she saw me writing in the coffee shop.
I can't. I don't have a laptop, so like I write on the desktop. I can't. I feel like if I was in a place like a coffee shop or a pizza place or whatever, that would be more distracting. Because my head is like always on a swivel.
Yeah. Oh no, I love being in the world, but not of the world. Nobody there other than the person saying, "Do you want another slice, or would you like me to refill your tea?" is going to talk to me about anything unless I look over and talk to them. So I chat with the waitresses, I chat with the waiter. The funny thing is, I'm there, and I did not realize how often I was going there. And this is fairly early on. And one of the waitresses walks over and points to this woman who's about 20, 30 years older than I am and says, "She noticed she's in your spot. She offered to move."
Aww.
That's nice.
So what about you, Gina? Where do you write?
Where I'm sitting right now. I usually come in here at night and close the door and put on some, tunes and just chill. Yeah, it's peaceful in here. I sit with all my awards and stuff behind me.
What kind of awards?
Well, right here is my copyright to my screenplay. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award I just received. And then up here on the wall, there's a bunch of awards. I got this recently.
Oh, that's cool. What's that for?
That's a Lifetime Achievement Award for writing.
Oh, very nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even know I was up for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to keep everything right here so it like gives me inspiration.
Yeah, it gives you the juice to keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Because that's also why I like writing in public spaces. I used to do it with programming also. I would go sit in a food court and program because I want to be in the world. I don't want it to be lonely. I don't want it to be isolating. It's one of the reasons we do this is because John and I like talking to you folks. And this is an excuse to get together with our friends. I was watching an interview with the comedian Taylor Tomlinson. And she was saying, whenever I want to get together with any of my friends who are in the industry, my answer is, we could go somewhere and work a club together. Not we could go sit at a bar, not we could go, get pizza, but no, we could go work a club. So this is kind of that middle ground of I get to hang out with interesting people, but it's also the job. It's a chance to connect with people and actually produce an output from it.
Speaking of the job, I just want to throw a little love your way if you can handle it. I thought you did a wonderful job with the Long Island Convention of Horror and all of your planning and everything that you did and all the hustling and all of the programming and whatnot. I thought you did a really great job, and I thank you for letting me participate. Yes. And I'm so glad I got to see Gina on her panel. That was awesome. So thank you again. And I just, I had a great time. That's all.
I appreciate that.
Me too.
See, I always tell people I have the easy part. So Patrick J. Kennedy does the negotiation with the hotel. He deals with vendors. He does all of the money stuff. I just get to go to people like you and go, "Would you like to be on this?" And then I herd cats to make sure people show up places. So I have the fun part. And I'm a former maitre d amongst 4 million other careers. I'm very old, and I've held multiple jobs at the same time, so like 800 years on my resume. But so the organizing all this stuff is kind of second nature, but I do very much appreciate that.
Well, you must be a computer whiz too, because you got me in.
I've been doing that for 4 decades. I've been doing it since before there was an IBM PC, and I keep current.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I got to
run
see
a programming department for 2 different companies and call that my day job.
Yeah. I got to see John in his Neon Genesis Evangelion shirt, and I got to give him a hug, which I loved. That was a fabulous day. Like the Lich was just. I was only there the one day, but it was awesome, and that hotel was beautiful.
Well, one day on our bucket list, we're going to get you there for 2 days.
Yes.
All right, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my part of the whole thing was just chasing Chuck around, making sure he ate and slept occasionally, because that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
So they wanted me there Friday because they had a classic horror panel that they wanted me on. I couldn't get there Friday though.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
It's very hectic. It's a lot of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have this, it's like I was saying with that Taylor Tomlinson. I have trouble not working.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go. I'm going to a tech convention next month, so I can speak.
Oh,
I went to Lich. I helped organized. I put up some panels for Stoker. I'm hoping when I go to Stoker. Last time I didn't have any panels, so I volunteered. I don't know how to, if I do that, I can attend. I feel like I have to pay some dues. I have to do something for each of these events that I'm doing. I have to do a panel. I have to help organize. I have to volunteer at the registration desk. Something has to happen.
Keep who else is going to StokerCon here? Who else is going? Gina, you're not going? Just
no,
John.
I wish I was.
All right. Well, John and Chuck,
they won't sell you a ticket.
Keep Thursday night open for me because I want to do a little dinner. All right.
That is terrific.
Okay. Not a problem.
Excellent.
So now that we're actually talking about writing, we should talk about writing. So Gina, you got something to read to us?
You want it out of the book?
Or out of the air, or wherever you have it, sure.
There you go.
Wise guy.
I live to please.
This is a story set in the 1900s. Princess Digina's origins. She was saved by a prince who was a vampire. The princess was unaware her prince was a vampire, but she joined him in his undead world. It all began when she was resurrected by the prince, making her a vampire as she lay dead from an unfortunate accident while riding her beloved horse. The prince, though, was then found destroyed by villagers, or so they thought. Princess Digina's heart was broken as she began searching the land to reunite with her prince once again, only if it was possible. The princess's family was a ruthless family that killed 2 Turkish prisoners that spent 30 years digging the well for their castle. The family was destroyed, though, by a staff member who was enraged. Prince Victor stowed away his fortune for safety. His untimely death shall let Princess Digina find out that someone close to the family was the cause for all of the issues she shall face. A man she loves comes to the rescue, and as their bond of love grows stronger, they fight together to save the fortune and the castle that was left to her.
All right, very nice.
Thank
which
you.
book is that from?
That's some hardcore stuff. You've got a dead zombie princess who fell off a horse. You've got dead Turkish prisoners. This is epic stuff.
Oh, that's why it's, being considered for a movie.
Nice.
Give us the name of the book. The glare may be interfering with people seeing it.
You want to see? Can you see that?
just for safety, say the name of the book.
Oh, Princess Degina of Raznov, Romania.
Okay.
That's one of 5, actually. During COVID, I just kept writing.
Yep.
So I have everything pre-drafted and ready to, send to print.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
A lot of people found interesting things to do in COVID. That's when I started my second podcast. This is, I think, the third one. We were doing geeky interviews. So we were interviewing writers from The Tonight Show. We were interviewing people who were involved with the Steven Spielberg cartoons like Hysteria and Tiny Toons. A lot of interesting people on there. We had
Very
a lot
cool.
of fun with that.
That's cool.
So, Robert, what did you do during COVID?
I got married during COVID. I married my wife in 2021, which was
That would
cool.
be a good person to marry.
That was it was good. You know, we had a good wedding. Fabulous. I got COVID during COVID. That was not fun. But yeah, no, I wrote some books. I wrote my first novel that won my first Stoker during COVID. So that was cool.
Very
You
cool.
could mention the name of the book.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The name of the book is The Triangle, and it's available from Undertaker Books in a special double feature. It's the Triangle and the Deep. The first and the second books are packed together. I pitched this idea to them, and they were like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that." So that was I'm really excited. And the third book is out with them. That came out in June, and yeah, so I'm very very pleased that trilogy is done.
Very nice. And I know you have something coming up, so we're going to swear everybody here to secrecy. I mean, everyone who's watching this, it'll be after the reveal, but all of us, we can't let anyone know that we've already seen the cover. Clash Books is going to reveal tomorrow as of when we're recording, which will be a week ago when we released this.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this is the cover of my book, Amityville Awakens, coming from Clash on October 6th, 2026. It is described as Salem's Lot meets Ghost Eaters, and a lot of people really, so far, seem to like it. I know... it's got a great cover. I'm very proud of that. Like I didn't do the cover. The cover's by Trevor Henderson, who I'm not even joking when I say like every time this guy makes a new piece of artwork, it scares the crap out of me. And when Clash told me like, "Hey, this is who we're thinking for your cover," I was like, "Please do, please him, yes." And he just knocked this out of the park. This is actually like one of the first images that I thought of when I completed the book for like the cover. I was like, this is kind of this is the vibe. And then he nailed it. And it's kind of funny. I love the back cover. I can't wait for people to see what's on the back. There's like a little surprise for people on the back. And yeah, I'm just really happy with it. And it's available now for pre-order. If people can't make it to one of my book events, I'm literally doing 13 stops on a book tour, and there's going to be more added. If you can't make it to one of those, Clash has a very special signed edition that they are selling on their website, but it's limited edition. So now is the time, my friends.
Just until your hand cramps up too much to sign them, right?
Well, and Noel, hey, they have Tylenol for a reason, right? Worth the pain.
Well, I heard you read a bit from it at LitchCon, and I'm totally in with it. So I will be pre-ordering this thing.
So is that what you're going to be reading for us today, or you got something else for us?
No, I'll read from Amityville Awakens. There is I love the opening of Amityville Awakens because it sets the tone for the book real nicely. So prologue: belief in ghosts is not of modern origin, but reaches back to the childhood of man and the night of time. That is a quote from H.W. Percival. The house on Ocean Avenue sat vacant in the village of Amityville for nearly 20 years. Pablo Antonio Mendez spent his teens riding past it on his bike from time to time after his parents had moved to North Amityville, recent arrivals from El Salvador. It didn't take long for a new kid like Pablo to learn all about the Amityville Horror House. Classmates in junior high whispered about the bleeding walls, the voices screaming, "Get out," and the dreaded red room in the basement. Pablo struggled at first to understand what these new words were: ghost, blood, haunt, but he pieced their meaning together quickly. How could a family live in such a haunted place? It didn't make any sense, but every time Pablo rode by, whether he saw the young family who'd taken up residence there or not, an icy spike ran up the back of his neck. By the time he reached ninth grade, his English had gotten better. He was studying hard, he had friends, ran track, even had a girlfriend. Pablo remembered when the last family to live at the horror house were evicted from their home in the middle of the night. Mostly, Pablo remembered the rumors, the warnings, whispers of something deeper, darker in the home, in the village of Amityville itself, as if the very ground he rode his bike on was filled with horrors. There were other reasons, Pablo figured, that kids warned him about the house. Students like Pablo would get jumped in the village of Amityville. Sometimes they'd just be run out of town, other times not so lucky. "Iho," he remembered his dad saying, "I don't want to hear about you going to the village." Pablo always listened intently when his father spoke. "That's a dead place." Let's figure I'll stop there. Couple pages there, I think. Feel bad. I don't want to read too much. I don't want to bore you.
That is always the problem with your writing, Robert. I'm sitting there going, God, I'm so bored.
It's not grabbing me, man.
I don't know, man.
You got to give yourself a little bit of credit. It's almost like you know a little bit about what you're doing, you know?
Well, I'm very lucky to have learned from people who are better readers than I, like Teal James Glenn and Carol Geisander and Clay Chapman and people who really know a thing or two about how to do a good reading, But I always have a hard time with readings because I always want to act it out and do voices.
Do that. Do that. You just mentioned Teal, okay?
I know. I should do the voices. I really should. I just never.
Gina, I don't know if you've ever heard Teal read, but if there are 4 voices in the story, Teal has 4 accents and moves seamlessly between them.
Yeah.
And he's this gigantic force of nature guy. He's a former professional actor. He's a former stuntman.
Yep.
And he just occupies the room. And it's just phenomenal.
Yeah. If he wasn't the sweetest guy, he'd be a very imposing person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you for letting me read from that. I
Oh,
hope people
absolutely.
like it, and I hope they check it out.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited for this. And, one of the things that's really nice about horror is the range.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to a lot of people about this because I write a lot of Westerns. I have a contract where I'm turning a Western novella every 30 days to the editor.
Wow.
And, yeah, I don't sleep a lot. No AI, it's just me. But when I do that, I know that if I write about a bounty hunter, people will read it even if they're looking for fur trappers. And if they're interested in fur trappers, they're still going to read about a mountain man. If they're interested in mountain men, they're still going to learn about early settlers. But when you get to horror, the categories are so big.
Mm.
The person who's listening to Gina's might be a reader for Robert. The person listening to Robert might be a reader for Gina, but they might be completely separate categories of people.
Right.
And neither of them might be willing to read body horror, or maybe some of them would.
Mm.
And it's that kind of a range that makes me very excited about horror because the playground is immense.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of my favorite things about writing in the genre is, and I mentioned this on Galactic Terrors yesterday or last week, whenever it was, last week. When I became a horror writer officially, I started looking at my stuff and saying, oh, this thing over here that's science fiction is actually horror. And this thing over here that's fantasy is actually horror. Because it's so wide. It's we're back to the word music. It's like saying, I like music. You don't like every single note that everyone's ever played. You have your favorites. You have stuff you would walk out of the room if it's playing. But at the same time, the things that speak to you speak to you. and it's really exciting. And it's why I like having you guys read, bringing people out here to do this kind of stuff, to share all that. Not everyone's lucky enough to be able to, go down to Shade Bar 6 times a year and listen to readings, or go to KGB Bar, or go to Books and Booze, or any of the other things that are going on. I mean, we're very lucky here in New York City and its environs that we've got tons of reading spaces. We've got tons of incredible people reading, and not just horror. I mean, all over the place. So it's really exciting to get into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to read at that spot in Hell's Kitchen that the HWA New York used to do, that garden?
No, that was before me. Steve Van Patten has a great story about sneaking a guitarist into there and people not knowing he was going to sing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You haven't seen this thing? He's got it up on YouTube. He got somebody to actually draw it. There's a cartoon that goes with it. It's about this guy who basically, heaven won't take him, hell won't take him, so he's back. And it's just this short little thing, and it is just breathtakingly funny.
I have a thing with watching a guy play an acoustic guitar. I just have to destroy it, like Bluto in Animal House. Yeah, it's hard. I can't watch an adult play any kind of instrument live unless it's at like a big concert, because I want to grab it and destroy it. And I don't know why. Like, if Nat Cassidy ever starts playing the guitar around me, I'm destroying that thing. I know it's a problem. It's a problem. Godzilla in me.
Yeah. But we'll keep you away from it. You know my cousin Russ Calchamiro, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interviewing him. John and I are interviewing him on the podcast, and he's got all these electric guitars lined up behind him. And I said, "So what's with the electric guitars?" He said, "I'm a drummer." It's like, what? He says, "I want to be a guitarist. I keep buying guitars." So we'll keep you and Russ in separate corners.
Thank you.
Now that I know this is good information.
I can say honestly, the only physical destruction I've seen with an actual musical instrument was Pete Townsend bashing his guitar to shreds at Jones Beach a few years ago. That was kind of neat. Because it was not my guitar. That's why it was neat. That the man has his own guitar, kills it, and that's art, you know.
So I gotta ask you guys, other than destroying instruments, hobbies?
Gina.
Hobbies. I don't know. I like to draw, but I don't very much. Yeah. Gardening. I know you're gardening. What else is there? Go to the gym in the morning. Train hard. What else is there? Jeez.
What do you do at the gym? Like, what's your favorite thing to do at the gym?
Biceps.
Oh, yeah?
No, I do everything. I do a training program. So I do upper body and one day, and then I do legs and abs the next day, and then I go back. Try to just, I lost 50 pounds. So it's just now tightening, everything up. At 57, you got to tighten.
It's a different podcast, though.
So cute when you think you're adults.
I'm 59. I gotta keep. My legs are okay, but I have to keep my arms from shrinking. so I do everything. I do the curls. I do the lifts. I do all the stuff, and I've got surrounded by these, muscle bound guys who are like 40 years younger than me, and fine, whatever, kid. I don't care. I got tattoos older than you. Go away.
Well, the reason why I do this is because I portray the character in the book. So when I go to Comic-Cons, as you saw, I dress up as the vampire. So, I have to fit certain dresses and outfits and stuff. So
I was going to wear that.
Which I totally understand. I'm sorry, Rob.
No, it's okay.
I totally understand the costuming because one of my friends, Caitlin Burns, went to NYU and came back as a costumer. She can actually build one from scratch. It's actually pretty impressive.
Cool.
I don't think of vampires as being particularly jacked because those are not the vampires I grew up with. I grew up with Nosferatu and Frank Langella playing Dracula, that sort of thing.
Frank was the best.
He was. He is my favorite Dracula.
Yeah. Besides Bella, but
Well, he's in a class of his own. That's just so old school. Nothing can touch it.
I always think of they always, with superheroes too, right? Like they're always jacked. They're jacked into oblivion, and it's like Superman wouldn't need to be jacked. Like he would look like a normal dude. That's what makes it so cool, But like every time he's on screen, he's like this ripped monster. Even the new guy is like big, but he's not that big. And it's like, okay, like they're getting it kind of right. Like he could be perfectly passable with his terrible crinkly hair that all the kids have now, and just be kind of a dope, and it's cute. Like we're getting there. Like he doesn't need to be a giant monster man. Even though Christopher Reeve wasn't a giant monster man, but he was tall. Like he was extremely tall.
He was tall, and when he first went out when he first went out for the role, he was rail thin. He had to put 70 pounds of muscle on him to actually make it work.
I think that's why I remember watching Batman versus Superman, and the part where Batman climbs out of the Batmobile and is actually physically larger than Superman. I was like, correct. Like Batman would have to be bigger than, like, it makes sense. But it's like you're saying about the vampires, like because they have so many abilities and they that nothing's going to affect them, right? Like they don't need to really do anything. Where there was that one fat vampire in Blade. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
They kill with the flashlight. You don't remember this? Nobody remembers this from
No.
Blade? The fat vampire that they get, that's like the record keeper, and he talks like this, and they burn him alive with a flashlight. You guys really don't remember Blade?
No, I don't remember that.
That's crazy. It's the only Marvel movie worth remembering. Oh my God. Go and watch Blade, please.
Yeah. I think
I've watched Blade. I don't remember that bit, but there's a lot of that movie I don't remember. I don't know. It's been a while.
Holy smokes.
It's a Mandela effect. It didn't actually happen. Just only Robert remembers it. I think my favorite take on vampires is I was at Books and Booze, Randy's reading series, and Mimi Mandani got up, and she did this insanely good piece about this little college town, and they have two classes of vampires. And neither of them are vampires. It's just the terminology people are using to discuss them. And one of these very rich kids who are there only because the college is there, and the other is the poor townies. And you hear every positive attribution about a vampire and their elegance over here, and every terrible thing about these blood-sucking monsters over here. And she uses the language of the way we talk about vampires on both sides to encode the wealthy is admirable, and everybody else is the scum-sucking vermin that. And the way she played it back and forth was just really, really elegant. It was one of my favorite takes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And perception is everything.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that? That story?
That was Mimi Mandani.
Mimi Mandani. Okay.
I don't know if you've ever met her. She's like waist high to waist high. It's tiny, but she's really a dynamo and really gave a phenomenal reading.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we talked hobbies, we talked music, we talked movies, we talked books. We had you guys read.
Can I tell you about my hobby really quick? Let me tell you something, okay? I was in school today, and I was sitting there. The children were working on a project about tsunamis. I co-teach in a science class, and one of my classes is a co-taught science class. And the children are doing this wonderful project about tsunamis. They're all killing it. I love them. They're fabulous. And I was like, I don't usually do this, but I was like, I'm gonna check Lowe's real quick, because we're getting close to mulch season. And I check, and the big mulch sale is happening at Lowe's. And I cannot begin to tell you how excited I got. I got the children all chanting mulch. I was like, babies, repitan, mulch. And they were all like, mulch. And I was like, yes. I was like, again, repitan. And they were all saying mulch. I was so charged up. I ran around the room, and I ordered a bunch. And my co-teacher was like, you are overly excited about this. I was like, I've been waiting all year for mulch season. And
I don't know. I worked at a botanical garden, and I didn't know anyone was as excited as you were about mulch. So yeah.
I'm charged up. I got the different colors. I'm very excited.
You sound charged up.
Rob, you have a standing invitation to come to my house and help me clear out my back and my front yard.
Or the front of his backyard.
So I wanted to tell you something about this. I wrote, this is a 490-page book, right? So to break it up, I write poems. I could write a poem about horror in about 10 seconds. And I decided I was going to put a photograph and a poem every 5th chapter to break up the story, which is kind of unique.
Mhm.
And people seem to be really loving that, which is nice. You can only get a color copy, though, if you go to see me. See this dragon here, my daughter drew.
Oh, very nice. How old's your daughter?
She's 22. She's actually looking for a job.
Jobs. I've heard of those.
Yeah, she's
Fair amount
graduating
of money to
college
be
in
made
2
in
months.
drawing dragons and selling the art. You got to
But
find the right audience.
so yeah, so if you get the book online, it's going to be black and white, which really stinks because there's photos in here, and they don't come out good in black and white. But if you go to the book signings that I do, you can, definitely get a copy. I just did Barnes and Noble last weekend in Lake Grove, and it went so wonderful that they asked us to come back for Halloween.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm going to be at 2 Barnes and Nobles in October, which is so unreal. I'm just so excited.
Which ones?
Carl Place and Lake Grove.
I'm going to be at the Lake Grove one in October as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Huntington's in June.
I'm going to be at Huntington in October too.
It's not a contest, guys.
We're
I
very
mean, it
lucky.
is, but you're
Our Barnes and Nobles on the, I mean, I don't live on the island anymore, but our Barnes and Nobles on Long Island are very, like, in my experience, very welcoming
Yes.
horror. Even though Long Island is not, like, the best when it comes to horror. Like, they it's not, they're a little pro-clutchy sometimes, but the Barnes and Nobles.
Wait a second. Okay, so we talked about the Long Island Convention of Horror. Your story is about Amityville, but you're saying Long Island, not so much horror, huh?
calling it pro clutchy. Come
A
on.
little pro-clutchy, a little pro-clutchy. You get the further east you go, the more those pearls get clutched, or or going to
Ladies
the.
Cove has some really weird stuff in there, and Montauk also has some very wacky stuff going on. So
That is true.
lighthouses, they invite things that do not respect our boundaries.
But yeah, that's awesome. The the manager of the Lake Grove Barnes and Noble is a friend. I love her.
She's so sweet.
Such a sweetheart.
Well, I go in costume and I bring people with me. So when we did Barnes and Noble and Carl Place for Halloween, I brought all these female vampires with me. They were scaring the shit out of everybody.
That's awesome.
I couldn't believe it. They were scaring everybody. They were standing by the door like this, like when they came in, they were,
When is your next signing? Like when can people come and see you? Like before Halloween?
June 13th.
June 13th, you said?
Yeah, Huntington.
Oh, at the Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, I'll be at Cradle of Aviation on May 16th. I think that's the next con.
So, Cradle Con?
Yeah.
It bet 80% chance I'll see you there.
Okay, cool.
So do you, I'll throw the softball. You guys know Carl Polino?
Oh, my father-in-law.
Yes. So last year at CradleCon, Carl calls me up. He's like, they booked me to speak for an hour by myself. Come interview me. So I'm not speaking for an hour by myself. and he said if they do the same thing this year, we're going to do the same thing. So once again, I don't go to things just to attend. If he calls me up, I will run out there for Carl happily. Carl is a sweetheart. And yes, I am saying nice things about your father-in-law in front of you. Shocking though that may be.
Thank goodness. Thank God somebody's saying something nice about the guy. Oh my God.
And a tidbit is that Carl is actually recording another podcast this evening.
Yeah. He's a great guy. We've had him on here, and so I have to tell the story quickly. So when Patrick introduces me to Carl, he says he's a comic book writer. Just stops there. So I'm chatting with Carl, and Carl starts talking about Celebrity Deathmatch. And I'm like, why are you talking about this? He's like, I designed the puppets for season 1 and season 2. I'm an animator. Oh. I did Halloween Prankster where Mark Hamill did voices for me. Oh. Okay. I guess not just comic books cool, but this other stuff too.
Yeah.
And then he comes to me when we're doing the first Lich last year, and he says, "Do you have room for me to do a makeup demo?" Like, a makeup demo? He says, "Yeah, I teach at school for visual arts, and I've done it in like 1,200 movies and commercials and TV productions. Some of it horror, some of it not." And then he starts telling me stories about the Video Music Awards on MTV and stuff that he did there. And so it's like he's a comic book writer.
All right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
One of my favorite things that he did is he did the deer antlers for the Fallout Boy Sugar We're Going Down video.
Yep.
And he has them still, and I got to put them on.
Yep.
It's so cool. I was like, this is great. Core memory unlocked. This is
Carl sat next to me the first time I did Cradle Con. And he was just the sweetest guy ever. I was like, I have to get to know him. So I see him at every event, and we chat and we hang out. He's just really sweet.
Yeah. I'm very lucky. I make fun of him a lot, but I'm very lucky.
If he's family, you're allowed to make fun of him.
See?
I appreciate everyone coming here for the Carl Polino roast. Just quickly, we kind of went through signings and stuff. Gina, what kind of book stuff you got coming up next?
I am working on a Frankenstein screenplay to follow the Bride of Frankenstein the correct way. So it's a work in progress. I have all these notes written down and I'm working through it. I just have to get through one part and then it'll roll on. But it's going to be something I think that'll blow people's minds.
Very cool. Robert, what about you?
I've got sort of a couple things working, but I'm really in love with this epistolary thing that I'm working on right now. I've never really written an epistolary novel before, and I'm having way too much fun plotting it out and actually like doing the writing and writing in different formats. And like I'm playing around with like writing Reddit posts and writing text messages and emails and just exploring how to present this story. And God, is it fun.
Yeah, I attempted one of those and it's put way off to the side because I don't know that I know how to do it well enough. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. When I have some stuff, I will send it to you to take a look. See, John, and anybody who's interested in beta reading.
Anything that is weird in terms of form, because when I was in college, we were experimenting with a thing that we were introduced to the theater of the absurd. And so we, being the English club and stoned out of our minds at least 3 hours every week, invented the theater of the impossible, where we would posit things happening. We had sprinklers pouring acid on the stage, on the audience. One guy destroyed the galaxy in the first scene, so it got a little bit stranger from there. So yeah, experimenting with form is incredibly fun and really, really valuable. That's way just to push yourself into some other dimension where you just don't know what's going to happen, but you're going to find out, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And John, don't destroy the galaxy. That's where I keep all my stuff.
My stuff is here too, and that was in college. The galaxy is fine now. It's okay.
Is it
very, very good? Thank you guys for coming out for this. And
thank you. And yeah, no problem.
We'll see you guys at Barnes & Nobles or Cradle Cons or Shade Bar or something soon.
Yeah, Cradle Con. We'll see you soon, guys.
And that's our show. If you are horror adjacent in books, comics, film, streaming, and want to be on the Horror Words podcast, email drownedrat@horrorwords.com. Good night.